So now it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Alberto Scherb and Jaime Alvarez Gerding. And they're going to tell us about how NFTs can build sustainable cities. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for staying around. We will introduce ourselves and then we'll get into the talk. So my name is Alberto Scherb, and I am the dad of two boys, wonderful boys, and a husband to a wonderful wife. And aside from that, I've happened to work with some interesting companies in the past. I worked for Apple for 10 years, then Nest, then Google, and some of these other companies in the Bay Area. And since then, I've joined the company that I'm representing today with Jaime, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that. But first, Jaime will introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Jaime Alvarez. I'm from Chile. Living in Finland now with my two little girls and my wife. I've worked for many companies before, but the last 10 years I've been working I worked for the national government of Chile in innovation and technology. And we coupled with Alberto and we decided to make this wonderful project. But then how NFTs are really going to help us build sustainable cities? For answering that question, I will delve a little bit in what are technologies and how they change the world in ways that we do not foresee. The things that we have in this room, or the clothes we're wearing, they're technologies. These are things that in a moment of time, no one had the ability to imagine them happening. Besides the essential things that make us human, all the things are or were invented. If, for example, when we went to school, another thing that was invented, we were taught that progress had been happening for the last 5,000 years, writing, agriculture, sailing boats, printing press, etc. These things not only make the world a little bit different. After the vaccines were invented, it was not the same world. It was not just the same world with people dying a bit less from infectious diseases. It changes the way the health systems work, governments, and the availability of drugs and everything. So, what does that have to do with blockchain? The thing is that technologies are happening all the time and are being invented at this very moment that will change the future in ways that we do not foresee. The world and this universe is eminently emergent, and we do not see that. We evaluate things with the lens of the past. And, what does this have to do with NFTs? Well, blockchain and NFTs and cryptocurrencies are these kinds of technologies. They're changing. They're not just a new kind of money, or they're not just a new kind of asset that will behave in the same way assets have behaved before. They are enabling emergent possibilities between people, between organizations, between countries. And what Alberto brought up is an example that something that happened not far away from here. James Watt, when he invented, he didn't. When he perfected the steam engine, what he did, he was just making something that worked a bit better. The steam engine was invented decades before by a guy named Thomas Savery. And he wanted to have something to pump water out of the mines and transport water from one place to another. But when James Watt perfected the steam engine, it happened something that now we know, we learn in school, the Industrial Revolution. But he wasn't making the Industrial Revolution no more than Robespierre was making the French Revolution. Robespierre wanted to topple the king, and James Watt wanted to make more money making these machines more efficient. And but what happened, and it's related, of course, with our talk, is that something that no one foresaw at that time, is that the steam engine was a factor, or was an invention that made decentralization possible for factories. Factories were tied and to the waterways, to the rivers, for the mills to have power for them. So the steam engine would essentially allow companies and people to locate factories all around the country or the world. Yes, I don't know.
So let me tell you about 100,000 million and what we're going to do.
Yes.
So we see the technology changes that Jaime talked about. And right now we see that Web3, as well as the knowledge that we have as the community around the world, should enable us to build sustainable cities, and they're not here. We don't see sustainable cities, and I can ask around, and there'll be nobody that can answer that there's one sustainable city, around the world, right? So we intend to build the most impactful company by enabling the transition into building sustainably. And what we want to do is to create a lifestyle, a new lifestyle that is human-centric, nature-focused, and sustainable to the core. We believe that with the technology that is available, we should be doing these cities 20 years ago. And funny enough, there's none. So we want to start to do this. And what we've set out last year is to start to create this company that pretty much will build cities around the world. In order to do this, though, and this is the question that Jaime had about, like, why are we here in London NFT when we're building cities, actual cities? And what we figured out, and this is by getting engaged in the community, is that the way to build a community, or a city, sorry, you have to start from the community. And today, in today's world, you don't do that. You buy a piece of land that is, next to a city, and then you create the external part of the city. So what we feel is that we need to create the community first, and then start to build the city. And so far, we've actually we've acquired the land, so we have 450 hectares in Chile, and we're actually going to leverage the way that the current Web3 communities exist and participate to figure out how to design the city in a way that is appropriate for the years to come. Not based on what we know, but based on what we want the world to be. We can't keep building the cities how we build them today, which is, it's the next part of London or adjacent to London or to Helsinki. And what we want to do is build cities that are 1/3 consumption of water and electricity compared to Helsinki. We both live in Helsinki. We've started the company there. And if you hear about Helsinki, it's pretty sustainable to an extent. But the levels of water and electricity that we're aiming for with current technology are the ones that we want to implement in our cities, right? And so what we're doing is we're opening up our community to start to participate with us with utility in the NFTs. And this is how we see that NFTs can help us build cities, not only for the fundraising part of it, right? Because there is that aspect of it, but more for the community. And everybody around here, I hope you nod, but the way that the Web3 community behaves is way different than real life, but yet real life should be more like that. And so we want to hold that on and hold on to that and somehow embed it into our cities so we can actually have cities that are at times when we build this. So I have a very simple timeline here. We're in London NFT today. We're going to launch this NFT in the early part of next year. We'll also be in NFT Talent. We know the organizers there. But we start construction, more importantly, it's the fifth point that you see there. We start construction of the city in the end of 2023. And at that point, we start to look out for the next cities that we have to build. Because if we build one city, we can address the carbon footprint of 20,000 people. That's roughly what we have with the 450 hectares. But we need to motivate other people to build cities like this. So what we're thinking of the utility of these NFTs is not only to participate in the design of the city, but also have them, the holders of this, have an option to potentially live in the city by having first access to the land once it's sold. And additionally, because we're creating a green, technically a full green city, we will participate in the market, the market offset, and we potentially see that the holders could receive revenue from a city perspective of this market participation. And then additionally, as we want to have a hub that actually helps us research the things that we need that we don't know how to answer. Like, how do you start an economy in a land that is empty today? And it's not easy, right? These are the social aspects that together we can do and figure out, but it's not going to be Jaime and Alberto doing it by themselves, right? We have to reach out to everybody and try to figure out what is it that the community exists in, that is going to exist in 20 years, and how are they going to thrive? Because at the end of the day, the community is what drives these cities, and we have to make them spark, right? So I'll pass it on to Jaime now.
Yeah. So what we already have figured out is the technical part. It's possible, it's doable, it's profitable, it's cost effective. I mean, there's no doubt that we can build these cities that consume 1/3 of the water and 1/3 of the energy compared to Helsinki. The difficult part is the community. I mean, and well, Alberto already mentioned that, but that's why we need the community. That's why we need you, we need others. I mean, it's not something that we're going to, you can't hire a community designer in a way that, yeah, the city will work like this. We'll have creative people, we'll have people that are going to produce these services or that. It's something that we have to create collectively. And we don't presume that we have the best knowledge, I mean, us or just a specific group. And that's where the power of the Web3 community shines, in our opinion. And so the NFT collection and the funding, yes, something important, but the important part, the thing that is not, we're not going to find somewhere else, is to build this community in order to, as Alberto mentioned, help us figure out what the city is going to be like. Not the infrastructure, not the microgrids or the water ways or anything. But for example, does the community value if we provide a really innovative venue for the arts? Maybe in some places they will say, no, we don't want that. We want to produce something that we can sell. Okay, but maybe in other places that will be something important. And you cannot design something that beforehand and just try to sell it later. Sorry, just said.
No, perfect. So this is the land that we talked about. So we're not saying we have acquired the land, but this is yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was loud enough. Apologies. So this is the piece of land that we have, the 458 hectares. We'll have them here. So as you can see, it's a beautiful piece of land. We start to, it's called breaking ground, right? When you build something. So that's when the infrastructure sets in. So that's at the end of next year, 2023. And at the end of the day, we're looking at this as like I said, our mission, right? A new lifestyle, something that, generations, it may not be the next one, but the next one after that, they'll think about sustainability. Actually, they won't think about sustainability because it's just as simple. It'll be for them natural, just like opening the water faucet today for us. We don't think about everything that happened and how it did. It's just us and we're happy, right? But sustainability should be as simple as that it just happens if you design the city around it. And we believe the community and Web3 will help us. Aside from that, we have just a minute extra, but thank you very much. This is our website. We have a Discord community there. The QR code is our website, don't fear. I've learned that in the Web3 community, not to click any link, but this is just that website. If you want to write it down, that's there. And thank you very much for sticking around. We're going to be around the event for a couple of hours, and if you're interested in participating directly with us, we're happy to listen to your ideas and help us build this better future. So,
thank you.